The following program is intended for mature audiences.
Football fans, the time is now.
Give me a hell yeah!
For the football show you never knew you wanted. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Broken Helmet.
Coming to you live on tape on this Thursday, September 25th, 2025. It is the best football show you have never heard of. It is the Broken Helmet. Rich Eggy here behind the wheel. Chris on the other side of the glass. And to get in touch with the show, you can reach us at brokenhelmetshow@gmail.com or on X at Broken Helmet Pod. Same thing with YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, but in reality, I think it is the X feed that is the one to use, or the email. Anyway, Chris, I have done you a disservice, and I have to apologize with all of my heart because I have not been able to take our little podcast that could hear to the next level so people could share in your delightful advice week after week. Because while last year you were a little off, this year you're right back to where you were a couple of years ago, and you have had a phenomenal first couple of weeks. And you last week was not as good as 2 weeks ago, but you put the two together, and through 3 weeks, you have been very, very successful. So let me give you a little round of applause to start off the pod. And it is my fault. More people should have been able to share in your knowledge. Yes. Well, I just gave you a big clap, so fuck your golf.
I know. I'm giving myself a golf clap because we know the...
You don't want to give yourself a pat on the back like everybody else on Twitter or on X? Do you follow a lot of people? I just cut you off again because I can't stop talking because I flap the gums constantly. Do you follow a lot of people on X in the gambling sphere or in the NFL sphere?
I follow a lot of people in the NFL sphere, but I do not follow too many gambling people. Usually little videos pop up of rando people who just won some bonkers parlay they did that was like, 18 cents and it cashes out
yes,
$20,000.
Very popular posts. Correct.
Yeah. But no, I don't really follow anybody from that sense, but I you see it on TV once in a while whenever you kind of catch it of how people are doing and shit. And
it's Iron Mike Sharp, man. Is Iron Mike Sharp the one that used to pat himself on the back? Or was that Ken? Yeah. It wasn't Ken Patera. I think it was Iron Mike Sharp. I could be wrong. Might be somebody else. But man, there is a lot of patting themselves on the back across the Twitter sphere. I mean, just random things, right? Like when one person gets a catch, somebody will repost what they wrote in December of last year saying, "Oh, watch out for this guy." And I was like, "He got a fucking catch." Right? Like if he's playing, what are the chances he gets one catch? It's not too bad. Little John, blast from the past, as we are recording right now around 9:45 on Thursday. Little John is doing the halftime show for the Thursday night primetime game between the Cardinals and the Seahawks. Little John, go figure. That's a dig. That's a deep cut right there. It's a deep cut at this point, right? I mean, Little John hasn't done shit in 10 years. 15 years?
I'm sitting here trying to act like I even remember Little John.
What? Okay.
No,
Chappelle did the spoofs on the show.
I know who he is. I'm just saying, that's my way of saying, I'm trying to remember, who he is. That's how long it's been since he did shit.
I think the last time he did something big was Turned Down for What, maybe?
Turned down for what?
Right. Yes. Which my now oldest son, Anthony, had a pretty funny video where he was behind the wheel of my friend's boat, just cranking the throttle back and forth, saying, "Turn down for what? Turn down for what?" That was pretty funny.
Anthony did that?
Yes. That was very funny. I have to figure out if I could figure out a way to make this Evie Muck's studio work seamlessly. I would bring it up so we could all enjoy in the video aspect of it, or at least the audio for those listening to the podcast, the audio podcast. But I tried this 2 days ago, trying to go in and out, dropping in video, and I fucked up a whole bunch of it. I didn't go to pages that I thought I was going to. I was reading all this stuff like people could see it, and then ultimately I hadn't hit the right tab, and so it's just been kind of an unmitigated disaster here in the beginnings of the video stages of the podcast. But anyway, just going back to finish off, because I think I cut you off again. Was there anything that you noticed? People always touting their own shit about, oh, look, I picked this guy, I picked that guy.
No, I mean, listen, not really. It's one of those things where they never concentrate on how much money they've lost. They really only show you the winning side of things, which is fine. I get it. Like, that's what attracts more attention, and
and that sells the newsletter and the super Discord and all that kind of shit.
Right. But ultimately, behind closed doors, are these guys just degenerates, or are they actually like, this is just like fake money to them and they're just proud of themselves?
I think there's a lot of people that do it, but again, it's like engagement farming, right? It's the same thing. You don't follow trading YouTube and trading streamers, or I don't know, is it content creators now? What do we? They're not YouTubers because they could be anywhere, so I think they're content creators. So trading content creators do the same thing, right? They go on their screens and they do these trades, and some show it, some talk about it. But it's engagement farming. Like, they make a lot of their money just off the clicks and the views that they get, and then they can use that money as they see fit, right? So it's not necessarily what they're doing that's cranking in the dough. It's the entertainment value of it, which has been, I don't know, kind of the game since the dawn of man, right? But I do agree with you that some of it is a little ludicrous. You don't follow, like you said, I've been trying to get more into the gambling Twitter sphere. And there's some old guy, I think, he's older looking. He's probably my age, but I just look phenomenal. He's RGP,
with the gray beard,
with a gray beard, yeah, but a full head of hair if I ever took my hat off. But
you don't get haircuts. That's what happens. You just have a full head of hair.
Yeah, there you go. Well, it's just a gift, the head of hair that I have. Yeah. So there's this guy, GPR. I don't know who he is. I found him through some random guy that I found called Elfie. And I think the posts were going, there was some big gambling content creator, what do you call it? Like Vegas, what do you call those shows, like the super shows, conventions? And that's how I found it. So they were plugging all kinds of stuff. And I started following this guy, and this guy's talking about himself and his professional betting. And he's got himself a spiral notebook, which is only trumped by my clipboard here, but he's got a spiral notebook. And he was drilling down on some girl, and I forget her name, Kelly in Vegas. Have you ever seen posts from this girl?
No.
Kelly in Vegas. I mean, I imagine she's like, who's the girl that Cox, whatever, Mox, Katie Mox, right? It's just like these random people that just pop up out of nowhere, and all of a sudden they're a specialist in insert, specialty here, a specialist in a specialty.
They just applied for the job that was posted, probably on Indeed, and they were just like, okay, they were at a bar one night, and it was just some hot chick, and they were like, dude, we should get her on the show. I bet you she loves gambling.
Well, 80% of the new content creators that you see in this environment, in this, in this atmosphere, they're all hot chicks.
That is not how this works.
No, it is. I'm sorry. It is how it works. And so they're all, now wager, specialists. And he was cataloging Kelly in Vegas's bets across X or on her shows, and he was doing it on X. And then ultimately, she wasn't doing that great, but then he kept saying he was a professional bettor, and he went like 0 for 5 for the beginning of the year. So everybody, and so then he said he was retiring. It's a whole world amongst itself. Fun to follow, but I'm all new to it, right? Because we've been doing this show now 6 years. We've been trying to get a little bit of engagement. The clicks go up a little bit, but even with a nice hit on X, the numbers don't go up, and that's fine. But historically, this is where I'm driving at. You have done well. I have always been middling, but unfortunately, we have not been able to share our intelligence and our little tidbits, pearls of wit, of wisdom, if you will, with the greater good. But I apologize for that, because you have been pretty good so far.
I feel like it's been longer than 6 years, man.
No, I think the first year we did it was SoundCloud, and I think that was either 19 or 20. I think it was the year before COVID. So that would have been the fall of 19 into, the winter of 19. That would have been one. And then 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and now 25. So I think this is year 6.
Willow Oaks.
I think this is year 6.
We moved to Willow Oaks in 2018. So that's, not Willow Oaks, Wolf Run. So that's 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. This is year 7.
I don't think we did it in 2018, but who cares? It's a year.
Yeah.
6 or 7 years, whatever it might be. But, before we get off this tangent, the one funny thing, and I'm just saying it's groupthink. I'm not saying anybody's heard the show because I see the numbers and I know it's been very small. But, the things that we've been doing for 7 years have now kind of caught on in other places.
Yeah.
Jason Lockenfora, that guy from CBS Sports, he started a show, Wanna Bet. We were doing Let's Bet. I started calling it that last year. But they do 4 downs, which we've been doing since the fucking beginning. And then, do you ever listen to Ross Tucker?
What network?
He's on CBS, but he does CBS. He does games, but he does his own podcast, and so he does.
I haven't heard his pod.
Yeah, he does like fantasy. He does bet. It's all kind of the same show, split up into 3 different things. So he does fantasy, he does gambling, and then he just does regular NFL talk. But they're all kind of the same thing. He just does them in 30 minutes. He starts doing, a betting show. He's always done a betting show, but now he started to call and name his bets. So he'll say like, "Oh, this is a blah, blah, blah. I love naming these bets like this and creating a name for them." I'm like, yeah, okay. We do that too. We've done that one.
He randomly just picks a bunch of things to put together and then just says, this is
it's the same thing as us. Like you just do something thematically, the home dog bet or the blowout bet or the all chalk bet, whatever it might be.
This is the all-in bet.
Yeah. You just create names for it. And going back to the trading content app environment, that whole place, this guy, ITC or ICT, Insider Circle Trading or Insider Trading Circle, whatever it is. This guy, I think he's a nobody. You could Google him in your own spare time, but he basically just created like this huge community simply off taking things people have done forever and then just giving them a vocabulary and giving them a title and giving away to people to digest and replicate and talk about his shit. Something's called a turtle soup and this and that, whatever it might be. So, that's just the way it is. People just create vocabulary so that you can talk about things. It's like writing a script. It's real world building, it's world building, so, but anyway, we have really digressed here. Again, my apologies to you. I should have been able to get more people on the train at this point. But with that said, let's get into our show. We will do everything in our Let's Bet show by downs. First down is just a recap of the stats. Second down are the big games. Third down is the rest of the ticket. And then the fourth down is our wagers and our picks and our wagers. And so if you want to just go straight there and stop listening to us talk, you can just do that. I usually do time code. So with that said, let's go.
First down.
And so in the first down, we will look how we did last week. And last week, I was phenomenal, but I could not capitalize on any of it, unfortunately. And we'll get to that in a hot second. But we will talk first about the favorites and the dogs, overs and unders, etc. So last week, it was the favorites. They were victorious over the dogs, 11-5. Of the 5 dog covers, 3 of those were outright wins. Those wins, I had them written down here. I forget where they were. But regardless, 3 of the dog covers were wins. And then when you look at the teases, favorites were 13-3, dogs were 10-6. So right now, the favorites are clocking in on teases and on the season. The dog wins are still under. They usually get up to about 65 to 70%. So the dog wins clocking in only at around 53% is still under. So I imagine you would see over the course of the year that number continue to go up, or at least stay at that same kind of clip, right? 3 out of 5. Look at overs and unders. It was split last week. So on the year, everything is split a little bit toward the unders. If you go to the teases, it's completely this same record, 30 and 18. Last week, everything is almost even on the teased point totals. Home dogs, favorites, and all the rest of it. Home dogs were 2 and 3 on the year. They're at 33%. The big road favorites. So those are road favorites who are favored by 4.5 or more points. We're 2 and 2 on the year. They're 6 and 3, so they're clocking in about 67%. Halftime lead was huge last week. Only 2 teams lost their halftime lead. And Chris, I will give you. I mean, you got to get both of them. You got to get both of them here.
That lost their halftime lead.
Yep.
So the
Rams. Okay, so let's go for the second one.
The Ravens.
I actually should have given you the whammy. That's why I built the whole pressure luck board. No, it was the Green Bay Packers. The Packers.
Oh, fuck, I knew that.
Yeah, they lost their halftime lead there. So 12 and 2 last week for halftime leaders. Trifectas were 2 and 2. The 2 teams that ended up winning, they had everything on their side. The Sharps, the money pool, and the tickets were the Seattle Seahawks and the Los Angeles Chargers. On the year, the trifectas are not good. That's usually the case. They're at 30%. So that's why sometimes you see a trifecta and it makes you scratch your head a little bit and you say, you know what? I don't know if I want to go on that one. And then pros versus Joes, that's when the Sharps and the money pool are on the pros and on one side, and then the tickets are on the other side. Last week, it was a big shift. This was in favor of the pros until last week. Last week, 1 and 5 in favor of the general public. And so now the general public is in the lead there, 6-7. How did the 2 of us do? Well, I was 11 and 5. So there's my clap on the back. Unfortunately, it did not result in any crazy wins because I screwed up my betting, but as is the case. So on the season, I am 50%. I continue to struggle with the dogs. I'm 37% on the year there. My super picks, I was 3 and 2. So I'm just about 50% on the year. And my best bet, I finally won. Congratulations to me. I got on the board with my pick of the Chargers, and so I'm 1 and 2 on the year. You were 6 and 10. You were now 40% on the year. You got a real rough outing picking dogs last week. You were 2 and 6, so that's where you struggled the most. And you're 22% picking dogs on the year, 50% for the favorites. Super picks were 2 and 3, so you're at 8 and 7 on the year. And then your best bet 1, so you are 3 and 0 for the year there. How do we measure up against the Sharps tickets and the money pool? Well, nobody really did great last week. They were under 50% again. They're all under 50% for the year. The tickets are struggling the most. The general public right now is 12 and 35. So that's good for 26%. The money pool and the Sharps are both under 50. The Sharps are almost at 50% now, 18 and 21. So they're at 56%. Our wagers from last week, you hit 2 cashes. First one was Los Angeles Chargers. That was your straight bet. And the other one was your Kansas City Detroit money line parlay. That was also good for 600. And then I had one measly parlay that I should have bet more on, but why would I bet a ton on a 5-team parlay? But that one ended up hitting. Still, that ended up putting me negative. So for the year, you are over 10 grand now for your bankroll. And that does not take into account the $1,000 that you still have in play for the season-long bets. So you're up just under 12% on the year. Meanwhile, I am just under 8 grand. So I have now lost about 8.5% on the year. I ended up clocking in. I lost about 400 last week. You were up about 250. So our survivors are still good. I picked Pittsburgh, Arizona, and Seattle. You had Arizona, Baltimore, and Buffalo. So we continue on with our survivor picks. But it's been a lot of chalk so far for the survivor picks. So everybody's kind of in the same boat as we are. And again, when we get to our survivor picks in fourth down, again, the ones that I looked at this week, again, end up being two of the favorites. So it's not like I'm going to end up picking anything that's unique this week. So
it's not the time to do that yet.
Well, no, there was just, you map out the teams that you haven't picked. You try to look down their schedule downstream and see where you might be able to pick them again. And if there's a better game, and then you measure it all. And I picked two, and there's a X feed that I found for these guys. They do a show. I said last week I was going to remember what it was, and I forgot it again. But they just do all Survivor contests. They just do a show a week on Survivor contest. Their posts are all about Survivor contest, and they had a cartoon meme today that was a guy sweating. I don't you ever seen when there's a decision between two things, and there's a finger, and the guy's like sweating, and the two buttons, and they're the two teams that I came down to pick between when it came down to Survivor. So nothing original there. So that's it for the recap for this week. That will bring us into the weekly slate. There are a couple of good games here. So why don't we get into the top ones now?
Second down.
And so, I don't know, Chris, where do you want to go first? There's a couple of big ones. I have them mapped out here. Is there one that you want to talk about more than others?
Probably Philadelphia, Tampa Bay is a big game.
Yeah, 3-0s. I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, to start, obviously.
So we will start off heading over to Tampa Bay. Down for me and Chris, it's just a car ride, but where the Buccaneers are going to be hosting the Eagles. The Buccaneers are currently 3.5-point home dogs to Philadelphia. This is going to be a pros versus Joe's game. You have the sharps on the Eagles. Now it's just 51% of the money on them, and then 58% of the tickets are on Tampa Bay. You've seen a shift right now where you've seen both tickets and money heading over toward Tampa Bay side. Plus, a lot of people are starting to pick them now. You're starting to hear that out of the woodworks. Over under here is 44.5 points. I don't know. I like the fact that the Buccaneers were able to pull it off last week. The Eagles win was kind of fluky. They needed a block field goal against the Rams, so they should have lost that game. But even though the Buccaneers are home and they played okay, and Baker's got that moxie, I like the Eagles here, and I'm struggling to understand why people are going toward Tampa Bay, outside of the fact that maybe it's the hook, right? It's the 3.5.
I don't know. I can't figure out why. I can't even figure out why this spread's so low. I thought it would be bigger. I thought it would be
really.
Yeah, I mean, Tampa has Bucky Irving.
Yep.
They have Abuka, who's already
banged up Abuka.
Banged up Abuka.
Banged up Abuka.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
That could be like a great nickname.
Yeah, somehow. Maybe he continued to be hurt, right? Oh, it's banged up Abuka.
Yeah. Like Paper McFadden.
Paper McFadden. That was a good one. Oh, yes. Yeah. That was good.
Godwin coming off another year-long injury.
Yes.
No Mike Evans.
Nope. Evans out for 2 to 4 weeks, they're saying. They didn't put him on IR now, so he's fucking everybody in fantasy football, unfortunately.
Yeah. No Jalen McMillan because of the neck injury. I don't know. They're going to have to piecemeal together. Tristan Wirfs, their number one offensive lineman, still out. They lost 2 other linemen for the year, or one for 6 to 8 weeks, one for the year.
Right. Plus the defensive lineman, the second-year kid.
What the fuck what is going on against the Philadelphia team who just wins? They just win.
Yeah. And the part to me that seems to really lean toward Philadelphia being in control here is I just think that front seven, specifically the defensive line, is going to really create havoc for Baker. I think that they're going to own the trenches. And so I don't know how Baker's going to battle back. I guess the thought must be that Philadelphia's offense right now is really muted. And so maybe scoring is going to be, at a premium here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe it's going to be. But Philadelphia opened up a can of whoop ass after they went down last week, and if they stick to that,
the Rams kind of sat on their heels too, right? I mean, the Rams kind of gave that game away.
I guess, man.
Regardless, a comeback win is a comeback win, right? So you don't want to take it away from the Eagles. The Buccaneers getting only 3.5 here. I thought that was really generous.
I'm all over the Eagles in this. They're actually my best bet.
Oh, look at that. Lock of the week. Going with the Eagles. I do not think that was mine. It is not. Was it one of the considerations? And it also was not one of my considerations. But I do like the Eagles. Yeah, I'm with you here. I had trouble trying to see how the Buccaneers pulled this off outside of just crazy passing down late to come back and make it close. But again, no Evans. Abuka's banged up. I mean, he was injured, right? I mean, they wrapped him up. So at least 2 weeks, and I think that the injury still persists, right? I think he was still on the injury report.
Yep. The other thing is about this game, and I don't know. I saw a brief news article pop on my phone. I think it was yesterday, and I didn't read it, and I erased it by accident. Like when you erase your notifications, you're like, shit, yeah, sure. Where was that? Like what website was that on? But it was something about the defense is doing something illegal to stop the tush push, and there's nothing the NFL can do about it. I didn't understand what was going on.
I'm done with the tush push. I can't do it. I just sit there and I'm like,
game over, man. It's game over.
I'm exhausted. We all know the issue. They line up offsides, they jump early, they don't know how to regulate it, they don't know how to rule it. The defenses can play. I'm so done with it. At this point now, it's been so many years, and I don't necessarily want to see it taken away because I think that if they do it, why can't anybody else do it?
No, for sure. You can't take it away. I'm with you. You can't take it away.
I just don't want to talk about it anymore, right? Like, regardless of whether or not you like it,
it's a part of the game.
And you want to leave it in, or if you want to take it out, I just don't want to talk about it. It's not doing anything anymore. Talk about it is like so ridiculous. If it's illegal and all this shit is illegal, and there's part of me that does think. I mean, sometimes you see the sky cams show the lineup and the line of scrimmage, and they're just offsides. But who cares, right? Everybody else do it. If they can do it, then you can do it. Just go do it, right? So I'm just done talking about that. But I don't know what you're talking about.
Eventually, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Fine.
To go off that thought process is like eventually we all know what's going to happen, right? They're going to have the sky cam with the monitoring on the helmets or the ball or whatever, and something's going to glow blue if you're offsides or red if you're offsides, right? And that way they prevent it ahead of time. They can monitor it from second one. So if anybody lines up offsides, it's literally going to be red. They're going to know they're going to have to back up. Right. So
yeah, they're going to throw in something. They're going to throw in something to help the regulation of it. Right. They're going to be doing something with the alignment, or I don't know, but they're going to put something in the off season that mutes the tush push. Which fine, have at it. It doesn't matter to me. I just can't talk about it anymore. It's exhausting. But we're both in here. I picked the Eagles. I imagine you're picking the Eagles as well, right?
That's best bet.
You got it. So. That's game one. Game two is a 4-o'clocker. This is the one that everybody's going to be dialed into when it comes to be 4 o'clock. Although there's two good 4 o'clock ones. I'm going to start off with the Ravens and the Chiefs. And the thing about the Ravens and the Chiefs right now is the Chiefs are banged up. Right, they don't have their wide receiver crew. They don't look fantastic. Sure, they beat the Giants. Not tough to do in 2025. The Ravens, when they're good, look unstoppable. And then when they're bad, they look like they can't beat the Giants. Last week versus the Lions at home, their defense was so piss poor. It was completely inexcusable. And I thought that this year, being the second year of Zach Orr, I thought he was going to be able to kind of ramp up a little bit and learn and bring these guys together. Now, I know there's a couple of key injuries, et cetera, but, their defense just has not looked good. So to
Their
give up,
defense is extremely hurt.
yeah, but still, you give up that fourth quarter to the Bills in week 1, and then you come out and you put up that shitbox performance last week, and there's issues. Like, there just really is, right? So you have a team in the Chiefs that just hasn't looked that good, and then you have a team in the Ravens that looks like they're just playing one side of the ball. And so the games is extremely entertaining to me. This is going to be the one that I watch, but I just kind of don't know what to do with it. I think the Ravens are infinitely the better team, and I don't know if I can pick them here.
Why do you think they're infinitely the better team?
I think their offense right now is infinitely better than the Chiefs. And while the Chiefs' defense...
That's ridiculous. Of course they are.
Oh, okay. I was going to be like, what are you talking about? And the defense, if they play like not great, but average, they shouldn't be that much worse than the Chiefs. Now, the Chiefs have some better pieces. The Chiefs have an infinitely better defensive coordinator. But I just think, push comes to shove, the Ravens are the better team. Now, they are on the road.
It's offense versus defense in this game. It's offense for defense, and Kansas City's home.
Right. I think that the Ravens have issues. I think the Ravens has issues primarily stemming from their poor defense. But there's now other things that come into play. Like, I don't really make that much of the fumbles from Henry, but I mean, he's had a bunch now. So, like, I don't want to make anything out of it, but at the same time, in the back of my head, I'm kind of like, I don't know. He is getting older. I mean, maybe it's a thing. Maybe it's not a thing. I don't quite know.
I think fumbling is a huge part of the punching fumble is a huge part of the game now. So
yeah, it has been for a while.
I know, but it's getting more and more intense, right? And it's almost like you've seen some training videos of dudes in their locker room. They're just boxing, like that. They're practicing boxing. So
because it's effective, it works. Turnovers are huge.
I get it. Think about, bro.
NFL games run on turnovers. You win the turnover battle, that's huge.
Think about it. Any one of these guys just running down the field, and you have like 3 6'5", 250-pound dudes swinging at you with their fists, just nailing you everywhere.
There's got to be bruises the day after in football. I mean, there probably always was, but I imagine the bruises that these guys suffer at this point in 2025 with this athleticism and the open field and the speed they generate on some of these hits. Like,
dude, I can't even imagine.
Forget it. I mean, yeah, it was gnarly back in the day, sure. You want to go back to the 60s and the 70s. Yeah, they were beating the crap out of each other, and I know that padding was less. But if you ever watch like a 70s NFL game, and even that into the 80s, I mean, they're on like the line of scrimmage. They're right next. They're right across from each other. Sure, there were some hits in the secondary, but if you look at the modern NFL game, the whole thing is run in space. So they're just getting, I mean, if they didn't have the defenseless receiver rule in the NFL right now, some of these guys would be dead.
It's absurd that defensive backs still hit dudes like that.
Well, I mean, it's way muted though. I mean, that they have it in their head that I can't tee off on people. Go back and
still do it though.
Yeah, I mean, some of them, just not the way that it was. Go in, for example, go watch the
Antonio Brown. I remember.
No, that was awful one too. Vontae Burfict, but go watch. Put in Deshaun Jackson, Atlanta Falcons, and go watch that hit. Let's see. Hold on one second. I'm not going to do it now. I was going to bring it up, but I learned my lesson this week when I tried to screw around with the audio part, with the video part, and it just delayed and brought everything into extreme nothingness. So I'm not going to do it here. But go, if you're bored, research, put in Google what I said, Falcons versus Deshaun Jackson. And I thought he was dead. I saw that live when I lived in Waldwick, and I thought he was dead. So anyway, back to the Ravens and the Chiefs here.
You know who's trash?
There's a lot of trash.
Marvin Harrison.
Oh, he's garbage. How did he get this way?
I don't know
what happened
to him. He was so good in college. It's so weird.
There are just some players that go to the pros and they simply don't translate. And I know a lot of people, this has been forever. People always pat themselves in the back on this one. I told you he was going to be terrible, right? Who were Trent Richardson, right?
Trent Richardson was awesome the first year.
Yeah, well, Trent Richardson, Cedric Benson, who I think is dead now, right? I think he died, Cedric Benson. I mean, there's been, Jamarcus Russell, people thought he was going to be junk.
Who was the dude? Who was the running back who was like, I just want to smoke weed, man?
Tim Biaka. No, not Tim Biaka. Tim Biaka Batuka. There's a deep cut. No, well, that was Ricky Williams. You talking about?
Ricky Williams. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was never ass. I mean, he was really good. It was just he kind of Rashawn Salam. There was I think it was a Heisman winner.
Are you just naming like every? Oh, I thought he was Penn State.
No. That would have been Blair Thomas, Kajana Carter. You want to go down that route, but they're just players that just end up not translating. And I think it's a little early to say that Marvin Harrison doesn't translate, but God, he's playing like utter dog shit right now.
I feel bad for him because he's got so much pressure on him from being Marvin Harrison's son.
Oh, I don't think the Harrison son thing even factors into it anymore.
Are you fucking kidding me? He was one of the greatest receivers of all time, dude.
Yeah, well, maybe that's a factor in his head, but I think the pressure that's on him right now is that you were a huge draft pick and you're not performing on a team where we were banking on you being our number one receiver. He was supposed to go along with Trey McBride, and they were supposed to create this 1-2 punch, but instead he just can't catch a goddamn ball. And so now it's the Trey McBride show. It completely screws up your whole plan for this offense. Right?
I just want Kyler Murray to be traded to the Raiders. That's what I want.
Well, I don't think so. I think he's probably just going to stay there till the end, right? I mean, they're pot committed to him, and he's not bad enough that you would trade him. And, they're probably going to stick with him, just give him the money, right? I mean, why would you get rid of him at this point? You couldn't with him before. You can't with him now, but you've been riding it out, so... I mean, I would be surprised, although you guys need something at quarterback. Geno Smith was a short stopgap.
Yeah, he's a stopgap.
But I don't know how long you're going to have that whole regime in Las Vegas anyway, because Carroll's no spring chicken. But that goes, way off a different path. Anyway, Ravens Chiefs. I thought the Ravens were infinitely better. You question why I thought that. I don't know. I just think that they are. Their defense obviously sucks, so that's a big knock to my argument. But ultimately, even though I think the Ravens are better here, I'm taking the Chiefs.
I'm taking the Chiefs too. Yeah, I got the Chiefs actually to win the game for sure.
Yeah, I got the Chiefs too. And if you want to know where the gamblers are right now, the sharps are on the Ravens. But then 66% of the tickets and 74% of the money pool is with Chris and I on the Chiefs. Over under in this game is 48.5. So now we will head over to Los Angeles from Kansas City, where the Rams are taking on the Colts. It's Indiana Jones versus the Sean McVay and his cast of characters, where the Rams are going to be 3.5-point home favorites in this one. Trifecta game. Everybody loves the Colts, although not a ton. It's 59% of the tickets and 56% of the money pool. 49.5 is the over-under here. The Rams have played phenomenal. The Colts, I still can't believe, although I've watched a condensed version of their games because I haven't watched them live, and I'm not all 22ing the Colts. And they played good. I can't knock Daniel Jones, even though I think he stinks. But I think this might be the reckoning game. Maybe not reckoning.
I am not going to touch this game if Devontae Adams isn't playing.
Well, why not? Because the McVay and the Rams have worked around injuries for the whole history he's been there.
Yeah, but
he always makes it. McVay's awesome.
McVay's great. Who name another receiver they have?
Puka.
No, outside of Puka.
I mean, what do you need? I mean, the NFL, there's so many teams that could just go one wide receiver. I mean, yeah, sure. It's a huge disadvantage not having additional receivers, but I mean, McVay can cook up some shit and be able to distribute the ball, wherever. I mean, you're talking about McVay and Stafford. Oh. They've been in the league for how long?
Oh, I thought Najigba was hurt. That would have been bad.
No, currently, as we're watching this game is a snooze fest, 17-6 in favor of the Seattle Seahawks. I don't know why anybody was going with the Cardinals in this game. A ton of people were. I ended up putting it on the Seahawks, but I think I'm going to get screwed because then I went Horton for my single game parlay. And, of course, this is why single game parlays are just money losers because they make the operators a ton of money. And they make the
it's not even
shit.
It's not even Darnold. It's like Darnold is. I thought Darnold was going to be like trash, and
Darnold's had a good year. I hate saying it because
he's just mediocre. He's not like special.
He's been all right. He's been all right. He's been better than mediocre. Right. I mean, I'm watching there. I mean, he hit JSN right going to the sideline for the first. I mean, come on. He's been doing that.
Good for the kid. I mean, good for him.
Yeah. I'm just looking. I had Torrey Horton in this single game parlay, over 2.5 receptions and over 25.5 yards. He's at 1 catch for 10 yards, and he's been like that since the first quarter. Benson, I need 55 yards rushing. He's at 28 yards rushing. He's four yards in the second quarter. In the third quarter? What happened in the third quarter? 14 minutes and nothing happened.
I looked down.
Brutal.
The third quarter's over. Like,
third quarter's
going
over
on here?
And there's nothing's happened. I mean, come on, a little bit of something here.
I wonder if they fixed that. I wonder if the stat correction fixed that backwards pass for the Miami game.
I don't know what you're referring to here.
Oh, the kid Malik Washington, I think it is the wide receiver. Last play of the game, he got a 13-yard reception, which put him a yard over his mark. But
his over-under total of something? Yardage or?
Yardage, yeah.
Okay.
His yardage. He had a 13-yard reception with 0 seconds left in the game. This is the Buffalo-Miami game. And so then, I guess after the game, the stat showed that it was a backwards pass, and therefore it was a run.
Oh,
it wasn't.
That's interesting.
And so everybody's replaying the slow-mo version of it where you can see two is at like the 41-yard line and he throws it, and Malik Washington's standing at like the 41.5 or 42-yard line. It's very close. And everybody wants a stat correction because tons of people apparently had an over on Malik Washington's receiving yards.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're not going to drill down on this because we've talked about it in the past. I mean, just trust me when I tell you that the volume of prop bets is probably like a quarter of what you hear everywhere on the internet. It's not a huge wager compared to the line totals and I mean, and it's just not, right? Point totals and the lines dwarf whatever the prop bets are. So, I mean, they're fun. And obviously you see them, like Chris said, when somebody hits, a 50-cent 10 touchdown parlay for something big. But I mean, they're just minuscule neighbors. So
it's like hitting the lottery. That's all those kids are. That's all you're seeing. You're seeing just a random kid who picked 13 games and,
some people are really successful with it, and I'm not saying that they aren't. And there are people out there that probably clock in quite a bit. But people talk about props like, they're just swimming in it. And I'm just telling you that the facts are that those bets are not in the frequency that they're advertised across the board. So I'm just saying, I think some people are just making shit up. But let's get back to this game. This is Rams Colts. You're concerned about Devontae Adams not playing in the game. I don't necessarily care. I don't trust Daniel Jones still, even though he's looked really good in this spot so far in the season. That is, Taylor's looked good through 3 games. I know everybody's on the Colts here. I can't do it, man. The Rams have given me no reason not to pick them at home by 3.5 points.
The Indianapolis Colts have given me no reason not to pick them.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get you, but the Rams have played. I mean, the Rams went against Philadelphia in Philly. They should have won that game. They went into where were they last week? Shit, I don't know their schedule up.
That was in Philadelphia.
I mean, the week before that.
I don't remember.
I have all my sheets here, so I should be able to pull it up pretty quick. Where were the Rams? They played the Titans. That game was junk. And then week 1, who were they against? Rams. Rams, Texans. So, I mean, they haven't played strong caliber teams minus Philadelphia. So, all right, I can't go on the schedule argument. You're right. I mean, the Colts have played well. I like the Rams. I like what I've seen. I'm going with them. I think you're going Indianapolis. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, for sure.
Really, for sure.
Until I mean, I will change my pick if it comes out tomorrow that Devontae Adams is out, that line's going to move.
Yeah. So if you want to wait, if you like this bet, then wait to see if it goes down to 3 or 2.5.
It'll go down to 2.5 for sure.
That's 1 point for Devontae Adams. I think
dude, he's like top 12 right now in fantasy.
Yeah, 1 point for a single player. I don't know. I mean, it's not a quarterback; it's a wide receiver. But you could be right. I mean, crazier things have happened. I think you'd probably see the move down to a 0.5 point first, and then maybe you get the full point when it comes to game time. But we will see. So you're going to be on the Colts there. I'm on the Rams. Those are the 3 big games. So let's go to the rest of the slate.
Third down.
And these will start off with the Sunday morning game. We finally get an early 9:30 Eastern Standard Time over in, this one is in Berlin, right? Is it the Germany game?
Is it Germany?
I think it's Germany. Or maybe I'm wrong.
No, you could be right. I thought there was another.
Well, they started off in London, then they started doing Germany. I think they do them both. I don't even pay attention anymore. They're just a European game, and they start at 9:30, and so that's all I.
That's exactly the way I look at it too. I'm
right.
like, oh,
something to wake up.
There's a game on.
Right. I get to understand what it feels like to be on the West Coast and wake up and have football going early on in the morning.
Oh my God! And all the fucking people who live on the West Coast, but somebody gets marked inactive out of nowhere before the Europe game. That happens every year.
Dude, that's going to be what, 6:30 in the morning for them?
Yeah.
Right? That's super early. But anyway, Vikings here, the Steelers are the home team. They're not a home team because they're both away, but the Vikings are favored currently by 2.5. Right now, pros versus Joe's game. The pros in on the Vikings. The tickets on the Steelers, 40.5 is the over-under. Who are you going to take here?
I'm going to take Pittsburgh.
You're taking Pittsburgh. Wow. I'm taking the Vikings. And I'll just tell it now. The Minnesota is my best bet of the week.
Oh, you with Carson Wentz?
Yeah. I think that Pittsburgh. I've actually one of the other teams, random that I've watched the teams that I have so far this year because I have not through 3 weeks been able to keep up with watching all the teams. I usually try to. I do the condensed games again. I'm not an all 22 guy, but I try to watch the condensed games over the week and just grind them out. I haven't done that well this year, but I have watched the Steelers. Their offense is awful. Fucking Aaron Rodgers is so done. It's not even funny. They have been, they should be 0-3. They suck. So
he is playing really bad.
He's playing
he
terrible.
He can't move.
Flores should mop the floor with that offense this weekend. So, and I get 2.5. So I all I need is a field goal. And Steelers defense. What is the Steelers defense this year? Steelers defense hasn't done shit.
They get some players back this week.
I mean, whatever. This is the same defense. Charbonnet in for the score. So now
he hasn't practiced in like 2 weeks.
Oh, flag on the field. They're going to call that one back. The Steelers defense let Sam Darnold go into their house and throw for what? Almost 300 yards?
Yeah.
Yeah. So give me the Vikings. You're going to take the Steelers there. Next game is the Bills Saints. Bills favored by 15.5 points. Trifecta game. Everybody in on the Bills. 48.5 is the over under here. Who are you going to take?
This is a brutal game, but I can't pick the Saints. I'm going to go
Neither
with
can
Buffalo.
I did Buffalo, and it's 15.5 points. It's so many, but the Saints are terrible. Worst team in football by far, even though the Giants are also terrible. I meant to hit the whistle to move on to the next game. Lions hosting the Browns. Lions favored by 9.5 points. Right now, the Sharps are on the Browns. Everybody else is on the Lions. Big money, 73% of the money pool is on Detroit. 44.5 is the over-under. Browns obviously coming off the big win, but at home versus the Green Bay Packers. Now they got it on the road against the Lions, who just opened a can of whoop ass on the Ravens, as we mentioned before. So who are you going to take here? I imagine Detroit, right?
No.
Wow. You're going to take the Browns in the 9.5, huh?
Yeah.
Explain why. Short version.
Short version is that I think their defense is one of the best we've seen in a really long time.
Phenomenal, for sure.
And I don't care what offense goes up against them. I mean, their schedule is fucking brutal at this point.
Yeah, there's been a lot of tough schedules, but I think there's a lot of tough schedules in the NFL this year because the teams are terrible. You're a terrible team, and then you go up against like an average schedule, and it's rough.
Yeah, their offense is horrific, but throw out the Baltimore game a couple weeks ago where they just got smashed because that game was actually like a one-score game until 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter when all of a sudden Lamar Jackson had 12 touchdowns.
Right.
But they are a much, much better defense than anybody Detroit's going to face. And they're not going to play into the games that Detroit likes to do. So I think it's going to be obviously a Detroit win, but it's going to be tough. They're not just going to get one over on them the whole time.
Yeah, I just think that in this spot here, the Lions at home, I think Campbell's going to try to keep the pedal to the metal here. And they're going to have, they're going to be, reaching for the stars here, trying to put the points up. And if they do get up multi-scores, I think that then just leads the Browns to suffer further offensive woes, problems on that end, possible turnovers. So I ended up going with the Lions in the 9.5. It didn't scare me, but you thought differently there. Next game is going to be the Texans-Titans. This game, battle of futility here, also very popular in survivor pools. Texans, 7.5-point favorites over Tennessee. Right now, there is no sharp action or sharp lean. The tickets and the money, though, are on Tennessee. 38.5 is the over-under here. It's the lowest point total of the week. Give me Houston and the 7.5 points. Titans are the worst coach team in the NFL, even worse than the Giants.
That's arguable, but I'll take Houston, of course, but I don't like the 7.5.
7.5 is a lot. It's just the fact that Titans are so bad.
Titans are really bad. Houston's defense is very good. However,
the whole Callahan thing, doing the two timeouts and then the 60-yard field goal, like at the penalty. What are you doing? What are you doing?
It's a very unique idea that they did.
It's not the best of strategies. But all right, so yeah, the 7.5 is a little bit, but it's not enough to scare me away. And you are obviously taking Houston, so you kind of are in the same.
Yeah, I'm taking them. But it's not. No way am I going to bet with the 7.5. I'll take them for picks, but I'm gonna lower that.
Yeah, no, straight up Houston. Chargers, Giants, this game in East Rutherford. Obviously, the Jackson Dart era has begun. Chargers, road favorites here by 6.5. Trifecta game. Everybody in on the Chargers, and quite a bit. 91% of the money pool is the highest of the percentages. 71% of the tickets are on Los Angeles. 44.5 is the over-under. I want to take the Chargers because I don't have any faith in the Giants, but there have been positive things within the Giants gameplay. And here with the rookie, throwing him in there, they could figure something out on offense. I thought 6.5 was a lot of points, so I went with the Giants.
I did too. 6.5's a lot. I think the rookie, I think it's going to be a back end cover, to be honest. I don't think they're going to stand a chance.
I could see that too. Sure.
Right. Like they might get it at the end. I don't think it's going to be a 1-score game. They'll probably jump out on them and they're going to work on trying to get back. But it sucks for Jackson Dart. Is it Jackson?
Jackson.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sucks for him that he has to play a team that's really hot right now like this, but it's probably going to be really good prep for what the future holds.
Yeah, I agree that it's not the game that you want to go into against the Chargers, especially since their defense is playing, not terrible, right? And and so this week has been pretty funny because everybody and their brother is talking about Jesse Minter, the defensive coordinator for Los Angeles Chargers, when you haven't really heard that name, ever at this point, right? And then a couple games into the season, now all of a sudden, this guy, he's Bill Belichick and he invented defense. But regardless, the defense has been playing well. He's been coordinating well, and so it'll be tough for Dart. But I think it's still good enough to get the 6.5. The Commanders-Falcons game, it looks as though Daniels is going to play. Still a question mark. Commanders road favorites by 1.5. Right now, pros versus Joe's game here. Pros in on the Falcons. 45.5 is the over-under. Falcons coming off the Ofer performance last week against Carolina. Who do you have here?
I mean, I don't know. This is another game. Who do you like?
I took the Commanders because I have no faith in the Falcons. I want to go with Atlanta. Number one, because they're home. Number two, they're coming off a huge blowout loss when you usually rebound well. I don't know if the Commanders are going to have Daniels, and I kind of think that, previous performance might have been a little fluky. But, yeah, and there's questions, is McLaurin playing? I don't
know.
Scary Terry?
Torn quad or whatever the fuck it is.
Right. I mean, did they finally mark him out? Because he's not on the IR.
No, he's getting second opinions, and then now it's more than just the quad. They're worried about his back,
so Terry's out,
his groin.
So I don't know. I have so much trouble going with the Rams here. I mean, I don't know what they were doing hiring Raheem Morris. He was terrible in Tampa Bay.
The Falcons, you mean?
The Falcons, yeah. Whatever I said, throw it out. The Falcons, Morris was awful. He was awful with Tampa Bay. He's terrible here. What are we doing? That was such a grasp.
I'm taking Atlanta.
All right. I hope you lose. Patriots Panthers. This game in New England, 5.5-point favorites, which I thought was crazy for the Patriots team that has not looked good. They should have won some of these games. They keep turning the ball over. Right now, there's no sharp lean. Tickets are in on Panthers. The money pool is in on the Patriots. 43.5 is the over-under. 5.5 was too many points for me, so I took the Panthers.
You took the Panthers?
Dude, as bad as they are, it's 5.5 points for New England, who wants to give you the ball. You come knocking on their door, and they're like, here, take this This is from us. Here's the football.
The kid's never going to play again. That was his last game.
I regardless, I know. I always say it's the preseason, so sure, maybe Vrabel's getting these guys, ramped up here, but I'm sorry, they have not instilled enough confidence in me in any way, shape, or form to give them 5.5 fucking points. No way. Give me the Panthers.
England.
I mean,
I took New England.
I mean, I know I'm picking the Panthers here. I know it's a whatever, but I don't have them in a bet, so I don't really care right now. It's just a pick. To the 4 o'clock games, we already talked about 2 of them. There are 2 left. 49ers hosting the Jags. 49ers right now 3.5-point favorite. Trifecta game. Everybody in on the Jaguars. The point total is on this one 46.5. The question mark is Purdy. It looks like he's going to play. The Jaguars probably could be a lot better if they could get their wide receivers to hold on to the ball. I think Warren Sharp had some kind of stat this week that 35% of Lawrence's incompletions have just been the wide receivers dropping the goddamn ball. So, you never know what to get, but going on the road here against the 49ers, even though they're sans Bosa, I think it's probably a tough ask. I picked the 49ers.
I actually like the 49ers a lot here.
Yeah, I have them in a bet as well because I like them. The Jaguars, this will probably be the week that the Jaguars figure it out, and all of a sudden Hunter has a monster game. But I don't. Do you like anything that's going on in Jacksonville right now? I think it's actually a disaster. Not as bad as the Giants, not as bad as Tennessee, but it's one of those. This Liam Cohen thing, I can't figure this out. It just does not look good. It hasn't since he did the whole stupid Duval thing, and it hasn't got any better since. It really hasn't.
Oh my god, the amount of memes that came out after that. Holy shit.
Right. Well, now what do you have? Now you have him and
Duval.
Now you have him and Lawrence fighting with each other. Him telling Lawrence to, drill the guy in the chest, and Lawrence blowing him off. And that was 2 weeks ago. And
Poor Lawrence.
It's just, and if you ever hear Cohen talk, I mean, it's really weird. I know that you got to give coordinators a chance to find the next guy. But I just feel like in the past, and maybe it was because a lot of these guys were retreads and stuff, these coaches just seemed like the ones of years past had more command of a microphone than the ones that they hired. Now, obviously, there's been some shitty guys along the way, so it's not everyone. But God, your Cohen is just kind of like, it's like, what, dude, just calm down, feel comfortable, own the fucking spot. He just sounds like a dork. Shane Stitchen is another one. Sounds like a fucking tool.
Jacksonville's really bad.
So we're both on Jacksonville. I mean, we're both on the 49ers there. And then the final 4 o'clock game that we haven't talked about is the Raiders versus the Bears. This game in Las Vegas. Raiders are 1.5-point favorites. 47.5 is the over-under. Sharps are on your Raiders. Meanwhile, everybody else is on the Bears. Pretty heavy right now. 74% of the tickets, 86% of the money pool.
Yeah, Bears.
Yep, I'm on the Bears too. So that brings us to Sunday Night Football, where we will see the Packers go into Dallas, taking on the Cowboys. Packers, 6.5-point favorites right now. 47.5 is the over-under trifecta game. Everybody and their brother in on the Pack. I mean, it's a Sunday night game, so these numbers will adjust quite a bit. But right now, 84% of the money is in on the Packers. That's the biggest number. So I took Green Bay. 6.5 is a lot. I've heard all this talk right now of the Cowboys being able to fight, but the Cowboys don't have their number one receiver. Their defense stinks. I just think it's a recipe for the Packers to win by 9.5, 9.5, maybe 13.5 points. It's a lot of points. Packers wide receiver room is terrible, but I mean, how the Cowboys keep up here.
Is their wide receiver room terrible, or is their quarterback just not that good?
Well, I mean, right now, what do you have? You have Pickens. He's your new number one. Lamb's out. So I mean, George Pickens is gonna power you to an offensive production that's going to be able to overcome the Packers defense
He's
and
gonna
keep
get
up. I would imagine the Packers offense is going to score points this week because everybody does against the Cowboys. They're that bad.
No, I'm saying the Packers. I'm talking about the Packers, not the Cowboys. I'm saying, is their wide receiver room that bad, or is their quarterback just not that good?
I don't know. I saw Love drop a couple of passes. Not Love. I've seen Golden drop a couple of passes over the past couple of weeks. I don't know. I wanted to watch that Browns game. That's one game that I have not watched, so I can't really opine on what happened last week. I just saw the highlights. But I don't know. I mean, 6.5 is a lot of points here. I have no faith in what the Cowboys are doing right now. They're one of the bottom barrel teams. They're terrible. The Packers are not. They played a really tough Cleveland Browns team last week.
They sold their soul before the season began, and they're just waiting for the number 1, number 2 pick.
I mean,
and
maybe.
then he's going to draft Manning, and he'll get rid of Dak.
Could be if they get down there. I mean, they're going to have competition getting to that pick. And if Manning comes out, doesn't Manning has another year? Weren't they talking? He was saying he was going to wait another year, but I mean, whatever.
If Dallas has the number 1 pick, you think he's going to fucking wait? Not a chance.
Never know.
That's a perfect fit for him.
I mean, he's going to be number 1 regardless of what year he comes out. He'll make more money in the NFL draft if he waits another year because obviously all the salaries go up, into perpetuity, right? Like every year. Each year, the rookies make more than they did the year before. So if you're making a ton of money at the college level, and you're more than happy there, and you're swimming in chicks and all the rest of it, why not wait another year? Just stay.
No, I get it. I
think that's the one thing that you're going to see is that, the big stud players,
they'll stay longer.
They're going to stay longer. Like there's no reason to leave college at this point, unless you're one of those position players that you're going to make more money in the pros.
Well, that's
right?
I think that's part of the reason that those people were pushing. I had a pretty good inside track to somebody from a specific well-known program that I spent some time talking to, and ultimately I heard all of the stories about how this really goes, and really why they were pushing this was because they have been losing their best players via either transfer portal or to the NFL, and this new policy of being able to pay them is going to keep these kids longer. And in hindsight, it's great for them because they're going to extend their dynasties, even farther than
right.
You'll
see, running backs are probably going to be the ones that are probably going to jump ship still because you're going to want to get to the pros as soon as you can so you can get through that rookie contract to try to make the big bucks on the second contract. Quarterbacks have no reason to wait. No reason to jump ship because they can make a ton of money, and probably the same thing with wide receivers. So you'll see, defensive guys, linebackers, all the rest of that kind of stuff. And if you want to watch somebody fun in the college level, the guy Ruben Bain from University of Miami, the edge rusher, he's fucking sick. Regardless, where they're
not that good, right?
I'm not going crazy about them, but I'm just saying the Bain guy is a goddamn beast. He looks phenomenal. But again, you got to wait to see these guys, translate into the pros. But I'll be interested to see his career as it evolves here. Packers, Cowboys. I picked the Packers. What are you doing?
Packers.
You're doing the Packers too. Okay. So all of that for that pick. Finally, we've got 2 games on Monday Night Football. The first of which will be the Dolphins hosting the Jets, an AFC East rivalry. Dolphins favored by 2.5 in this one. The Jets look like they're going to end up getting what's his name back, Fields. Trifecta game, or not a trifecta game. The Sharps are actually with the Jets. Meanwhile, the tickets and the money pool is with the Dolphins. Give me the Dolphins in the 2.5. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Right. The Dolphins could have lost McDaniel last week, but he was able to survive as they were competitive against Buffalo. The Jets, I have no faith in. This is another one of those teams like, they did okay, but they're really kind of dog shit. So, here with the Dolphins, if Mike McDonald is going to coach the rest of this year, he wins this game and their offense probably opens up. A-Chain has a monster game. Hill has a monster game, et cetera, et cetera. And then people look back at New York and they're like, oh, God, same old Jets. They fucking suck.
You want to guess $1,000 budget, Fab? I did a stupid little guillotine league.
Okay.
You want to guess? You know how that works, right?
When you lose, I forget. You can pick the players off.
It's cut line. So who's ever the bottom team just continually gets cut.
Yes. Okay.
And it resets every week. So it's not point totals. It's just every week is a different season. And so, want to guess how much A-Chan went for out of $1,000 budget?
Oh, I have no clue. We discussed this. I am not good at Fab. I hate it. I just don't understand auction. I think the dollar amounts that get thrown up are arbitrary and I can't follow. Out of 1,000, I'm going to say a lot. I'll just say $750.
No, that's 75% of your budget. For the whole
year.
But
that's what I'm saying. I don't understand it because you need a historical reference in whatever league you're in to kind of understand what other people do. So I don't know. $200.
He went for $475.
Okay, which I imagine is a lot of money, right? It's half your budget.
50 half your budget.
Right. So, and you do that every week? Then you have an auction, and so you're trying to. It's kind of like daily fantasy or like weekly fantasy.
You have 2 waiver periods every week: Wednesday night, Saturday night.
Okay.
So there's no free agency pickup. You don't just randomly pick and drop up players. You have to go through Fab, and those 2 draws.
And the team that gets knocked out, their players get thrown into the pool, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a lot.
I haven't used the dollar, and I'm in fourth place.
Well, we had A-Chain in Azer's league last year. When he plays and he scores a ton of points. Well, when he scores a ton, he scores a ton of points. That's a repetitive. But yes, and when he scores a lot of points, is what I meant.
Yeah, he goes off.
All right, so we are both in on the Jets, and then the final game is the second part of the doubleheader, and that is the Denver Broncos hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. Broncos, amazingly, are favored by 7.5 points. The Sharps are in on the Bengals. The Broncos have the tickets and the money pool. 43.5 is the over-under in this one. And for those of you watching the Seattle game, it looks as though if Seattle misses this field goal here, which I believe they're lining up, I don't know how far it is, then the Cardinals will have a chance, 53-yarders here. The Cardinals will have a chance after playing awful in this game of driving down the field to tie it up at 20 all. And the kick is up, and it is wide right.
No good.
He missed. Norwood missed. Wide right. So the Cardinals can come back here, and after Seattle has dominated most of the game, have a chance to come back. And the fans are going wild. Who do you got here in the Broncos-Bengals?
I took the Bengals.
You took the Bengals in this one. Okay, 7.5 points, too much for Bo Nix?
Yeah, just too much.
Yeah. I was going to go the Bengals, and then I switched it, and I went to the Broncos, and I'll stick with that here. So we're on opposite sides. I don't know. There's something about the Broncos, if they've gotten average play from Bo Nix in 2 of these games, they should be undefeated. Their defense is really good. It's just been Bo Nix has just been stepping on the rakes in all of these games. If he could pull together in this game, the Bengals' offensive line is terrible. The Broncos are pretty damn good. Benito, he got his contract. He's been playing really well. I think they could give the Bengals just fits here. And so, then it's just a matter of if Bo Nix can keep up with the defense and score the points. So that's why I went on the opposite side. So that is all of the rest of the games and our picks. So now we will go to where we give you our super contest, all the rest of it. It's 4th down.
4th down.
And so you have the lead. You are currently, like I said, with a bankroll of over 10,000. So we will start with your picks. Give me your best bet in your Survivor. We said the best bet, but for people that have just jumped on fourth down, what is it?
Philadelphia.
The whale's vagina. And your Survivor pick. That is San Diego, but I shouldn't say there's something else. They're not the whale's vagina. There's something else.
No, he says, does anybody know what diversity is? And he goes, "Oh,
was that 1 or 2? That was 2, right?
No, I thought that was 1.
I don't remember. Oh, yeah, I think it is 1. Yeah.
And he's like, I'll take this one. Old wooden warship from the Civil War era."
Yes. Very quotable. Allie and I walked out of that movie. That's how ridiculous it was, and we just didn't know what we were looking at. And then now it's become such a classic, and I laugh as I think that I spent that money and we walked out of it.
You walked out of that
movie? Out of it. Yeah, I think right after the pool scene, and he was talking to about eating the wheel of cheese, and he's talking to Christina Applegate, and I looked at Allie, and she's like, "This sucks," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not laughing either." And then we just got up and left, and I just didn't even give it a chance.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, awful choice by me. I don't know why we walked out, but we did. And we've sat through some shitty movies. I made her sit through Sausage Party, Team America, World Police, which minus a couple of scenes was also not good, but we walked out of that one. So anyway, Philadelphia is your best bet. Your Survivor pick, sir.
Survivor's Green Bay.
Green Bay on the road. Okay. And so then your Super Contest picks. Give me 5.
Yeah, I got Philly. I got...
Whoa, hold on 1 second. This is the first time, and I can't tell you how long, that you have taken your best bet and put it in your Super Contest. You never do that.
I didn't even notice I did it.
Yeah, you did. So Philadelphia, well, now I'm holding you to it. So Philadelphia is your first. What's your second?
Why did I do that? I never do that.
Too late. You got to leave it in there.
Buffalo, Rams, if Devontae plays.
Okay, if he doesn't play, are you throwing another one in there?
No, you can leave it. It's fine.
Okay. KC.
And Green Bay.
Give me your first out then that you would put in there of the Rams. If they ended up,
if he didn't, I'd probably put San Francisco in there.
San Fran. Okay, we'll see how that plays out. All right. As for me, my best bet, I considered Green Bay, the Rams, and Minnesota. I liked all 3 of those. Ultimately, I went with Minnesota. I just think that their defense is going to have their way with that shitty Steelers offense. As for Survivor, I considered Minnesota, Buffalo, Houston, San Fran, Green Bay, and Miami. So you picked Green Bay. I looked at them as well. I thought they had Cincinnati and Carolina later down the schedule that I might want to pick. San Francisco's got Atlanta, Carolina, Tennessee, so there's some option there. Buffalo is best team in football probably right now, so you could pick them against anybody. Minnesota's got Chicago, and then they've got on the road against the Giants. Plus, there's part of me that even though they're my best bet, a little uneasy about anything overseas. But ultimately, Houston has a game versus Jacksonville and a game versus Las Vegas down the road. I don't think either of those games is as strong as their home game here against Tennessee, so I picked Houston. And so that brings me to my Super Contest picks. I ended up going with the Minnesota game because that was obviously my best bet. I also took the Rams. Like I said, they were one of my other ones that I was considering. San Francisco, like you, that was your first out, but I have them in. Chicago and the 1.5, and then Green Bay. So we're together with Green Bay. So that brings us to our gambling. I will leave it to you since you are in the lead. So you can go first, sir. I guess technically I should go first. That way, if you wanted to pilfer off of my great picks, you could. But here I get to pilfer off of yours. So
sounds about right. All right. So I did a bunch of things. I did a straight bet of Philly 250 to win 415 because I lowered it to 2.5.
Okay, 2.5 there. Gotcha.
Then I did a money line parlay, 2-team, 150 to win 415, and that's going to be Atlanta and Houston.
All right.
Then I did some alt spread parlays. First, I did Pitt minus 250 to win 1,000. It's 14. Did Pitt plus 3.5.
I like it.
I did the Chargers minus 2.5.
I like that.
Detroit minus 2.5.
I like that too.
And Buffalo down to 6.5.
And I mean, I picked Buffalo plus the points, so I like Buffalo minus the 6.5.
Yep.
That's a good
So
bet there. The only one that I might question there is Pittsburgh. They burnt me in the past. I like Flores against that defense, but I mean, it could be a close game if both sides of Pittsburgh play well. The rest of it I like. Chargers minus 2.5, Detroit minus 2.5, Buffalo minus 6.5. I like all those. Okay, so 250 for 1,000 on that one.
Yep. Next one is going to be 150 for 1350. And that is going to be a 3-team alt line parlay. And that's going to be San Francisco minus 2.5.
All right. So San Fran by field goal.
Yep. It's going to be KC by 2.5, minus 2.5.
KC by the field goal.
And the Bears by a field goal.
And that was 150 for 1350?
Yep.
Really?
You got two underdogs. That outright winning.
Oh, I guess yeah, right. Well, no. Kansas City is favored or the dogs? They're the dogs
They're
this week,
dogs,
right?
yeah.
They're the dogs.
Yeah.
And then Chicago as well. Yeah, the Chicago one. Yeah, we talked about this a couple weeks ago when you were talking about you want to really jack up the odds. The way to go is to find the dogs and then push their lines to about 3 points the other way.
The close dogs. The close,
right?
Like
the close
when,
dogs.
When it's like a -1, -1.5, and you're like, well, I think they're gonna win the game, so let's just go to a field goal. Yeah, just
go to a field goal. Yeah, so 150 for 1350 there. Well, I like the Chicago, right out of the gate. I picked Kansas City, and I like San Francisco.
Yeah.
If there was a pick that if there was a bet I'd steal of yours, I'd steal that one. I like that one. I won't, but that's the one I would. All right, continue on.
Next is going to be 200 to win 750.
Okay.
Green Bay minus 2.5. Miami money line. And Cincy plus 10.5.
Yeah, well, this one I like too. I'm never comfortable doing the underdogs and pushing them up. But again, this is the Denver Broncos that have been very, weak offensively with Bo Nix scoring 10.5 against the Bengals here. That's the one part that makes me a little queasy. But I mean, 10.5 points is a lot. I mean, Cincinnati.
Well,
should be able to
I like
something.
I like Cincy at 7.5, so I'm gonna like him even more at 10.5.
Yeah, I got you there. Okay, so 200 for 750 there.
Yep, and then I did two $50 anytime touchdown parlays. So the first one is 50 to win 2,500, and that's going to be McConkey.
Phil?
Yep. Judkins.
You didn't like my Phil McConkey reference?
I know. Groundhog Day.
Okay.
Right?
Well, I mean, Phil McConkey was Phil was the Groundhog Day reference. Phil McConkey was a Giant reference, but go on.
Oh, got it. Phil?
Ned Ryan?
Ned?
Continue.
I'm sorry. I keep getting distracted by I can't believe they're all the way down to the 5-yard line.
Yes, ridiculous. As we're doing this, there's 1 minute left in the Cardinal Seattle game, and you are looking at the Cardinals' drive here for the victory. Well, not for the victory, for the tie.
And now they have to they're rushing. They need to burn this clock. I don't know what they're doing.
Well, are you really worried about Seattle? I'm not worried about Seattle.
Dude, I'm worried about anybody. Dude, that's not how you play the game. You burn the clock.
No, I mean, oh my
You have time.
God, what was that? First and goal, and you're going to run a. Why would you do that?
Because you have a timeout.
Yeah, but you need a touchdown. You want to get all your downs.
No, but now you're going to throw it. They thought, they've been doing nothing but throwing.
Yeah, but why? I mean, that's just a wasted down. That's such bullshit. You're not going to kick it on fourth down, so you're going to run a play on fourth down should you need it. So then what do you – yeah, but you do a rinky-dink fucking center draw?
What, did they think maybe he didn't catch it? And they wanted to get a quick playoff? No.
I mean, even at that, you just got to snap the ball.
After I said he's trash.
So you burn the timeout. You burn the timeout and you waste the down.
I call him trash at halftime, and he goes off for 5 for 58.
Yeah, I know. I've been watching it in the background. I was going to make light of it or point the spotlight on it until the end of the game. But here we go now on second and goal, and there is the touchdown.
And there's the touchdown. Good. DeMarcado. Great.
So the same guy that just ran well, I like that because I can still get the cover from Seattle, and it'll give a little bit of time to see if any of my other legs of this parlay come in. So I am
Seattle burned their timeout. See? Told you.
Oh, so Seattle burned the timeout because they wanted to get the ball back.
They wanted the ball back. They could have run it again there.
Well, I guess that makes me look like a fucking asshole then because I was adamant that the Cardinals would have called the timeout.
I'm surprised. Oh, did that go in? Oh, yeah, that went in. Jesus.
Okay, so you're Seattle. You're up by 7. And I like McDonald, so I'm not going to question.
You're up by 14.
No. I'm talking about what happened here at the end of the game. So let's talk this out here. So you're Seattle. They're driving on you. It's first and goal, right? I guess they run this play because they think that maybe it was going to be incomplete. I don't have the sound on, so I can't hear what they were talking about. But let's say that they think that maybe it's an incomplete pass, so they got to get something off. They decide to do this center run to the Mercurio, whatever the name is. And then the clock is still running. Arizona has one timeout, and they burnt it down. And you're Seattle, and you're going to call the timeout? Does that make a lot of sense?
Yeah.
Why?
They're burning the timeout to save their clock. I'm shocked that Arizona didn't run the ball again.
But why?
To burn the second one. They have another timeout.
Yeah, but you're down. You need a touchdown to tie.
God, these fucking assholes. Ugh.
Is it a re-kick, though?
No, it goes to the 35.
That is one thing I have not mastered yet. Oh, it hit outside of the catching zone, right?
Yeah. You gotta be.
Or what is it called? Not the catching zone. Whatever zone it is.
Target zone?
Yeah, I forget.
Landing zone?
Landing zone. Isn't it landing zone? I think it's landing zone. I've given up. Again, I always say this. 25-year-old Rich Eggy is on top of it and making fun of 49-year-old Rich Eggy. But I don't give a shit to continually try to learn all the new terminologies.
Now they just have to go 20 yards in 28 seconds of the timeout. This is so ridiculous. This is how bad Arizona actually is.
I still don't understand the end of that. I mean, I get it when you explain it that they're trying to stop the clock and get the ball back. But I would have put the pressure on Arizona to have to manage the clock plus their timeout, get all the downs in, and we had the lead. I don't know why they called it timeout, but regardless, you were doing touchdown parlays
anytime touchdown
McConkey
parlay.
was one, not Phil.
McConkey, Judkins, Debo, Travion Henderson.
Whoa, a Travion Henderson sighting. Stop the presses. He has been absent the entire year.
Yeah. I know. Rumor has it that he's going to start this week.
I don't know. I have him. I have Harvey, and I have Hampton in various leagues, and they've all been very below average. And I mean, Harvey of all of them has been awful. So, okay, so that's 50 for 2,500 there. McConkey, Judkins, Debo, and Henderson. And what's your other 50?
Is 50 to win 950, and that's BTJ, Odunze, and Lamar.
I've been trying the quarterback touchdowns, and I have not been successful at all. So Odunze, Brian Thomas to get back in the swing of things, and Lamar 50 for 950. Okay, so you're looking at a total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks. 7 picks this week. And now you've got all this money to play with. So, you can do these crazy things like these touchdown parlays, because why wouldn't you, right? They're spec plays now. You're playing with money. Good for you. All right, so over to me. I will try to speed this up best I can. So I will start with my teasers. Again, I'm going the teaser route to try to get back on the board. I almost had it last week. It didn't work out. So my first one is going to be Detroit, Houston, and Green Bay. Bring all of those down. Detroit goes to 3.5, Houston 1.5, and Green Bay 0.5 point. So give me 300 for 720 there. Then throw in Denver and make them 1.5 points. Give me 100 for 340 there. And then tack on another one. So we got a teaser ladder here. And you're going to have to go back in time here. We go back in time. Chargers minus 0.5 point. So include that with the other 4. Make it a 5-team tease. That's 100 for 434. So those are my biggest bets of the week. Then we will go to the all-day ladder. All-day ladder is obviously an engagement bet here. I try to pick one game for each time period and see how we do as the day goes along. Minnesota minus 2.5, Detroit minus 9.5, Rams minus 3.5, and then Green Bay in the night game and the minus 6.5. That's 50 for 632. After that, we will do a money line parlay. So I just want to pick the winners. I've got 6 games here lined up. Buffalo, Detroit, Houston, Rams, 49ers, and Green Bay. 100 for 527 in that one. Then I've got a couple of field goal parlays. So I moved all of these lines around, alt lines to 2.5 points each. The first of which will be Minnesota and Green Bay together, $50 for 130. Throw in on top of those two the LA Rams. So Minnesota, Green Bay, Rams all by a field goal. That's 50 for 212. And then I had one other field goal one. This was Baltimore, the Rams, and San Francisco. Again, I picked Kansas City, but here I threw in Baltimore. I think Baltimore is the better team. They should win, but, it doesn't make sense since I picked Kansas City. But anyway, Baltimore, Rams, San Francisco, 50 for 256. They all have to win by field goals there. Give me Blowout City. So I picked 2 correlated parlays here with games that just blow them out. Philadelphia minus 6.5, Miami minus 6.5, Chicago minus 6.5, 25 for 519. And then throw in Minnesota on top of that at minus 6.5, and you will get $25 for 1,400 in that one, 1,432 to be exact. And the Seattle Seahawks have won the game with a last-second field goal. Kudos to Chris and him and Mike McDonald thinking the same way as to call a timeout and save yourself some time so you can get the ball back, drive down the field. You left too much time on the clock. And again, I don't know why Seattle did that. I would have thought completely differently, but that's why I sit doing a podcast from the suburbs of New Jersey and not making money on the sidelines. So as I said, blowout city, all by a touchdown, Philly, Miami, Chicago, and then tack on Minnesota. And then I have got 2 more. This is just a parlay. It's just a parlay. I picked two teams. Chargers, Miami, 6.5 for the Chargers, 2.5 for Miami, 25 for 90 there. And then my final bet will be home dogs. I will take the Kansas City Chiefs and give me the money line there, and then give me my Giants. Jackson Dart turns around, does great things, and then he ends up getting the win at home. Those two home dogs together, $25 for $185. So I've got money all over the place. I wish I had more cash because, like I said, looking back at all of these, I really do like your San Francisco, Kansas City, and Chicago all spread, all by field goals. I did field goal parlays too, but I like the one that you did, and that was 150 for 1350. So I was a fan of that one. So we have went super long on this. Hopefully your kids haven't woke up and are just tearing your upstairs all apart. You're going to find out soon enough, right? So with that, we will call it a wrap. As always, thank you for listening. Hope you got something out of the show. If not, maybe you'll get something next time. Listen to Chris. Don't listen to me. I have not had the year as of yet, and he's been on fire. So until then, out of 5,000, Chris, I'll call you later. Well, tomorrow.
Adios.
I'm going to bed now. All right. Peace, everybody.